luxury fifth wheel and putting a garage on the back. So we're trying to make sure we take care of two things here. So all of those things are very expensive, including the kids, but huge investments, right? So we want to make sure that we start really with the foundation. I mean, for momentum, it's important that we're putting heavy axles. We've got 7,000-pound axles, but we also do an 8,000-pound axle with a disc brake option at the plant. A lot of our competitors don't do that, right? You have to make an appointment with More Ride or do any of that stuff. You can see here we're starting with the anti-lock braking system, the standard in all these units. Just note that if you go to the 8,000-pound axle with a disc brake, that ABS is not included in that. We haven't quite gotten it there yet, but it's something we hope to do that. The other thing, we have 17.5-inch wheels with an H-range tire. Most of our competitors are doing like a 16 with a G-range tire. What that's going to do is give you some ground clearance. It's going to give you a higher speed rating on your tire, a higher weight rating on your tire. Like Mike says, you have less rotations on the tire, so you're just getting less wear and tear over the years, bearings, all of that stuff. So the foundation is there. Our I-beam frame, we have a 12-inch I-beam frame across the board on our product, where some of our, especially newer competitors, do a 10-inch I-beam with a torsion tube. So a very stout frame. Does anybody know the width of our product?
101 inches.
101 inches, yeah. The other great thing about the fact that it's not only is it 101, we also set our frame rates extra wide versus a lot of our competition. That's going to allow us to have a more stable stance when we have all the levelers down. It's also going to just give us more support for our side wheels. When you have those extra wide, your outriggers are more steep, and you just have a stronger structure for the entire unit. What else does it do for you by having extra wide frame rails?
Rides better.
Rides better, what else?
More room inside.
More room inside, yep, what else?
More tank capacity.
Tank capacities, right? So you have much more space down there because your tanks sit between those I-beams. Even or in like our 336 or 376, you have more space for the storage down there as well because you end up using that for the garage space. You also have more insulation below the floor as well, right? We have that insulation right below the tanks as well as up in our subfloor. Speaking of insulation, does anybody know that we insulate our garage?
Yes.
We're one of the only toy haulers that insulates the floor of the garage. So when we talk about making sure that the temperature stays more consistent back there, you're not constantly have to run in and out to warm up or cool off or whatever. We want to make sure that we give you better insulation.
Question on the garage?
Yeah.
Heat ducting?
Yeah, we have heat ducts.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are they always in the same location?
No, because every unit can be different. We'll talk about that when we hop inside. But really, like in M-Class and Big Mode, the door threshold is where the duct comes out. So you don't actually see the duct on the wall. Some guys are saying, oh, they don't have a duct back here. You don't see a duct coming out of the wall. That's where the duct is it comes out of that door threshold. Yeah. But here, the reason that we don't, or that most of our competitors don't insulate in the garage is because, or in the floor of the garage, is because we have the fuel tanks down there. So they don't enclose that area. We can't enclose that area, so they just give up and put the decking down and call it good. Where we do a subfloor, that's just going to allow us the space to do the insulation back there. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So a couple of the changes that you see, let's just talk about the garage. We have garage camera prep, that's new this year, so you'll see that prep back there. Some of our customers want to actually throw a camera, see what's going on, keep the motorcycle tied up. They want to make sure that it's still up and tied up when they're in transport. Maybe you want to put your kids back there while you're in transport, just kidding.
Mother-in-law.
Yeah, mother-in-law back there, yeah. Make sure they're all safe, right?
Timed in.
Yeah.
Is that camera Furion?
So it's a prep. So you can really do it's just a power, yeah. So you can hook it up after the fact, give the customers the option.
Is it a Furion camera or is it better?
It's prep. Yeah, that's what it is. It's just prep package. So it doesn't come with the camera, it's just prep for it. So that's something that we're doing in the garage. We also added a light over the fueling station, as well as tied it into the light up on the side here and the light in back, so you have full 320-degree lighting around the back area. So if you're loading your toys at night, you're backing into a campsite, you're going to have plenty of light back there to make sure that you're safe and everything is happening smoothly. Does that all make sense? Mm-hmm. Does anybody have any questions out here?
I don't want the ramp door. What's the difference between y'all's ramp door and like the zero gravity ramp door that Keystone offers?
So this is a zero gravity ramp door on the M-Class and Big Mode. So it's going to come down nice and smooth. You don't have to be a giant to handle it. My mom, who is approaching 80, would have no problem bringing that down. So it's very, very similar. I think they're probably using a MORide ramp door. We're using a Lippert ramp door. It's insulated. It's rated for 3,000 pounds as it pertains to loading. It is rated for 1,500 pounds as a party deck. Here, that brings me to another thing. So, does anybody know what the rating is in our garages? Weight rating.
The same as the rest of the coach.
The same as the rest of the coach. Good job. So let's just say that we have 3,000 pounds. You put all the weight in there if you choose to. If you add weight towards the front, you got to take it out of the back. However, some may ask, well, it's 4,000 pounds in the back. The door's rated for 3,000 pounds. That doesn't make a lot of sense. The thought process is typically something that weighs 4,000 pounds, you're not going to have all 4,000 pounds on the actual ramp door at the same time. So typically you'll have 2 of the wheels up into the unit. Now if you don't, you probably shouldn't put all 4,000 pounds on that actual ramp door. But most of those, like if you have a Jeep or something that you're able to fit in the back because you have the capacity in the unit, hopefully 2 of those axles will actually be in the garage in the unit before the next one long. There's 1,000 pounds per point of contact. That make sense? Cool. Let's hop inside real quick. As we look inside the unit, we clearly have self-igniting oven and stove combo up here. We'll start up here anyway. So the interiors, this is our new interior that we made changes to around mid-August. So it's called Silver Maple. So you can see we have new wood tones. What we really wanted to do is bring some more residential feel to the inside of the unit. We're not changing anything that we do with our garages. The ruggedness, the exterior, the heavy axle, all that stuff that makes us a strong toy hauler. We wanted to make sure we gave you a real homey feeling unit. So we've got our new maple, modern maple. It's just a maple wood. But you can see we've got new chevron feels in the door here. We've got new glass inserts just to make it a tie-in with the light box here as well as the doors over there. We've got all hardwood fascia, as you can see. And last year, we got rid of our corner blocks that we had, or even center blocks like you see in a lot of units. It just kind of an RV feel, so we wanted to make it feel a bit different. You can see where that hardwood lines up. It's really not easy for the plant to do. So that's why I'm really excited for you guys to get out of the plant. They're all super, super talented. We take pride in our craftsmanship. So you can notice it a lot right there. We have new window treatments. You can see you've got pull down roller shades that are blackout, but we also have those black window casings where the roller shades fits into there. So it just, again, something else that gives it a more residential feel, but something that's different than most of what you see out on the market. Our residential kitchens. I mean, we've got the Insignia oven and stove. Does everybody love that? Does anybody have any customers that don't like that? Yeah, I didn't think so. So I will tell you, I worked for a company before a year and a half ago that does not put that in their unit. And it used to make me so mad that my boss wouldn't do it. But my pitch at the time was like, well, who the heck uses 4 burners? Because I don't use 4 burners at home. That was my only line of defense, and it's a terrible defense because truly the best thing is you can use normal sized residential pots and pans on this thing. The oven specifically, you can actually cook a normal sized pizza in there, maybe a small turkey or something. So beyond that, it just looks awesome. It looks very, very residential. We've got 18 cubic foot refrigerators in all of our Big Mo and M and Big Mo, and then in G class you're going to have 12 cubic foot gas and electric refrigerators. As we approach January, February, you will start to see us go right to 12 volt. Where really Norcol's not going to produce that 18 cubic foot refrigerator anymore in the state, so it's just not going to make it necessary to go. And I think with the transition that we've seen in the industry going more towards 12 volt, this will allow us to go away from having a gas electric and a 110 option, and we'll just go all in on a 12 volt. We'll have a 16 cubic foot in our G class, and then what's that?
4 minutes.
Okay, cool, thank you. We'll have a 16 cubic foot in our G class, and then in Big Mo we'll go to 20 cubic foot 12 volt refrigerators. So as of right now, we run a solar prep. You would just have a plug up there at MC4 connectors. We run all the home run lines down to the batteries, and then you can easily have your parts and service add that on. It's not wildly expensive. All the hard labor is done. What we have tried to do, once we go into 12 volt, we will actually have a 330 watt panel a 50 amp controller, and then we'll prep for an inverter, and that'll run for that refrigerator to hopefully get any of those customers who are concerned about transport and things like that, then they won't have to worry about that.
Did you say that 12 volts going to be the only option, no
It
res?
will be the only.
Okay.
Yeah, and really the Norcold
no-brainer.
looks super residential too. It's got the pull out. I mean, it looks very much like this. So.
And when's that change going to be?
I don't have an
You said
exact VIN.
January.
I will make sure that your reps have the VINs for that, but we anticipate it being in January, February timeframe. Okay, does that make sense?
What did you say about the solar? It was 330 panel?
330 watt panel, 50 amp controller, and inverter prep.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we'll have an additional plug up there, so I mean your customers can add a ton of
Inverter prep, does it set you or limit you to a size of inverter? So like, could you go up to-
should. I would imagine there could be with the size of wiring that we use, but offhand I don't know what that's going to be. So real quick, because I think we have 2 minutes and 23 seconds. Another thing that I want you guys to make sure you're pitching, especially solid tube momentum, is our plywood drawer bases. This is not normal. We have new competitors out there. I'll just say it. You know, Valor, Paradigm. They're one of the ones that they say plywood reinforced. They still use wallboard. So like I came from Montana, sold Montana for the better part of a decade. Great product to sell. But one of those things, but we should just put a little bit of wallboard here. Don't post this, by the way.
I'm not gonna post it. This is for my
As
notes.
I'm bringing up, but they use a wallboard, and when wallboard is bonded to a wall, it's very sturdy. But when it's by itself, it's just a piece of thin luan, right? I mean, you just punch it right out of the bottom. So our newer competitor just takes a piece of plywood or really OSB and staples it along the bottom so it supports it. We just go that extra step. These are all side plywood drawer bases, something that is not normal in the industry. So when we're talking about quality, it's just the drawer base down there. There we go. Yeah, but you can show that off in any of the drawers in your solitudes and momentums, okay? Quickly running through real quick, our bathrooms, I would be pitching the crap out of those things. I mean, one-piece fiberglass showers, I don't care what anybody says, if it looks like marble and all of that, it's a flimsy piece of like G3 solution stuff. I mean, it's not a bad product when you're talking about entry-level trailers, but when you're talking about a big fifth wheel like this, you want a one-piece shower, you want it to be fiberglass, it's gonna last the life of the unit. You can repair it if you damage it. I don't know what you drop in there that would damage it, but if you did, it wouldn't be a big deal. You've got those nice fold-down bamboo seats that are rated for 300 pounds, so I love that part of it as well. The bedrooms also, you guys noticed when we went to that Rhino box up front, we were able to add some space and get bed slides into a lot of our units. So 351s, 397 THS, 381s, we got that bed slide. You could do washer dryer prep up to the front now, which was a beautiful thing, but it just made those bedrooms more residential. So we have a ton more space, a lot of hidden storage under our dressers, and a lot of those cool things that we continue to do. So real quick, we have a stick and tin toy hauler coming called the MAV. So you'll see that early next year, which will be a great price point. We've got open concept floor plans coming, 315Gs, just some new stuff for the West Coast, but also beyond the West Coast, they're going to be 35 feet. We've got some 32-foot stuff that is going to be lightweight and inexpensive. So whether it's open or not, it'll be great for all of our customers.
Fifth wheels, the open floor plan?
Open floor plan, fifth wheels. We've got travel trailers. We got all sorts of cool stuff coming. So I will make sure your reps are aware. I will make sure they're sending you guys all that
We
information.
got one in.
Yeah, cool.
We probably shouldn't have said that, but
That's